Can we rewind here? Agatha May has something about Ken Young, and there's something about being served. I don't even know if Guru's still in here, but let's go to Agatha May's book face. The face of books. The books of face. The face of books and books of face. Yeah, if it don't work, you might have cookies blocked or a wall up if that's still a thing. Okay. What do I look for? I need to switch profiles. Hold on a minute. Alicia Young posted. So this is what's happening. Alicia Young posted, well, it's official. We got served our papers. And then I'll just read the comments. Jennifer, somebody Jennifer says, can you share exactly what you're being sued for? Sorry, just curious. And then Alicia says, I'll tag my husband and he can share. I'm not at home this morning and he was the one that got served. I do believe it's for so-called defamation. Terry says it sent me right back to the TikTok app I downloaded before and won't let me do anything. Terry, did you go to TikTok/coins and then make sure you add it to your home screen called Get Coins? And then don't use the website, just click on Get Coins. Like it should look like that, and just click it and it should go right there. Only use that and try it. And make sure you look up here to see if it credited you. Or a computer. Yeah, you can do that. But the app seems to be working, I think, for people. It worked for me. I hate all this is going on. Ken Young commented on the countersuit. This is what Ken Young says. Loss of income. I mean, not countersuit, but what JP is served them. Okay, get that straight. Loss of income due to defamation. Will need to respond, but my research shows that we are out of the court's jurisdiction as we live out of state. In addition, he used a fake address to make it look like we live in South Carolina still. Going to reach out to consult with my local attorney, but this should be easily dismissed by the judge. Plus, I have actual audio recordings of him lying and defaming my character. Oh, snap. Yes. Oh, snap, Wendy. Well, there's no countersuit, I don't think, right now from them, but there probably will be at this point. Ken goes on to say, he blamed us from the very beginning, and he's gone out of his way to try to discredit us at every turn. We have actual proof of it. Regardless, we don't even know most of the people he's suing, and we didn't even know most of the protesters prior to any of this. JP is in this mess because of the long line of people he's mistreated, abused, going back over 20 years, apparently. We are glad that us speaking up gave others the courage to stand up and share their stories. If that's a crime, lock me up. But it's not a crime. The lawsuit actually says that because local law enforcement has refused to do anything about our behavior, that he has no choice but small claims court. What do y'all think about that? I'd just make a new account, L cousin. Just make a new one. Forget that one. If there's suspicious activity on it. It's gotta be glitches. It's gotta be glitches. God, I hate this. I wish everything runs smoothly, almost smoothly like it did before. I'm sad. But anyway, so now they've been served. But I wonder how they were if he lives out of state and they have a fake address. Agatha May says, I feel like we need a cake for such an occasion. So you're out of the jurisdiction where he filed, but still had you served. He's spending a lot of unnecessary money for someone who's claiming loss of income. He'd better start saving those pennies. And defamation cases are difficult to win, regardless. But from what I've read, they are extremely difficult to win in small claims court. He is spending a lot of money. So he would have had to try to pay someone to have them served. I would love to know the circumstances behind how they got served, but I'm sure they'll tell that in time. Still has a maid coming, yes. If you guys watched him being served up close, the process server has posted the video on the TikTok. And he's made a channel. You can go over there and watch it. If you need to find your way there, I have a duet with his video and he's tagged in it. You can follow the tag. Yes, and he was in his robe, hun. I was like, what are you doing? You know the cleaners are coming. They usually schedule that. Don't be in your robe. That's weird. What if he didn't have anything on under it? Yes, my freckle journey. There's 4 in total posted right now, I think. Yes, always eating out. Got a new truck. And he says Morse. Did he must have recorded everything. Maybe there wasn't house cleaners. Maybe they weren't. By the way, this is my current mood. Apologetic. Sorry, not sorry. Maybe. How many dogs does he have in there? It sounds like a herd. I can tell, though, they're probably little. There's a bunch of little. And it's like he don't want to come to the door. Do you guys notice that in every process server's video? It takes like a hot minute. Like he's ringing the bell. Who takes that long? You don't have a big house. Ring my bell. Ring my bell. Oh, I'm sure. Oh my gosh, you guys, but listen, isn't he going to be so mad when he finds out that those were filmed and that it's on TikTok? Hey, Steph, I love your name. Thank you so much. We have 27,000 likes. Let's see if we can get to 50,000 likes. That's going to be pretty easy because we have 235 souls in this room. If you would like to subscribe, if it will let you, I don't know. You can try. I think you can do it on the website while I'm live, and that does work. So if you would like to, I'm trying my best to say above 200. We got how many more days by the end of the month? What I got that? Oh no, yeah, I got 2.5 days left. So if you can, that's the way to do it, and that's a good way to support what I do. Thank you. And we have 10 corgis. That is the goal. If you can throw a corg, if you are able to throw it, you have it. You were able to get the coins after work. Please do so. The processor told him he was there and going to give it to him in a public place. So he said no. Well, he's right. I mean, you know, John Paul loves to go to public places and eat and hang out with Susie Skinnerd, like Leonard Skinnerd. Oh. Coco says the one he posted the first time when JP said, I'm not home after answering. Right. A Griffin, I'm so thankful I subbed into next year. Thank you, sweet friend. A Griffin, I am done recording audio for the podcast for that show. I just got to finish up editing. It's been a crazy week, but I'm going to try to get this done in the next few days. Herb, the process server's in the house. Herb, hold on. Everybody follow this account. Herb is the process server. Herb. Woohoo. Everybody loves you. Yay. That's crazy. I can't even believe you're in here. Everybody, I'm going to keep him pinned. Make sure you follow this account because he's going to post some things. He says, I served him many times. I was the guy in May. Yes, and I recognized your name because I believe you talked to JLR one day. And I think you said your name. I think that's you, or it may have been another one, but I thought I had recognized your name from that. Everybody's like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Blue minivan. Everybody's like, let's go. All right. Everybody's rocking for you. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? He does need a mic attack. How many more? They're wanting to know how many more are coming. I mean, do you get to pick which ones you deliver, or do they assign them to you? Mods, help me keep track and pin his comments. He says, not sure. He can come up on the panel. If you want to speak on the live panel, I think he's probably new to TikTok. just hit that guest button. Well, actually, I'll send you an invite. Where's he? Where's the name? No, I can't invite that way. Hold on. Okay. I sent an invite, and all you have to do is hit it. There you go. Hello. Can you hear me?
Are we there?
Yes.
How
Hi.
are you doing?
Good. My name is Stephanie, and this is my channel. And we were just talking about you and your videos and why John Paul Miller would be in a robe and different things like that.
That was a little
Um,
creepy. So what actually happened here is, did you see the Channel 13 news story um, Monday night that Adriana put together for Regina Ward, where they
mhm,
interviewed her at the courthouse?
mhm,
So we went to the courthouse. She filed the documents. We did the interview. Leave the courthouse. We went straight to John Paul's house. He answered the door through the Ring doorbell and kept saying, "You can serve my attorney." But this particular case, he did not have an attorney. He did it himself. So therefore, there was no attorney to serve. Um, he, you can hear the dogs barking in the background. So that's how I can tell when he's home. And so I rang the doorbell like 8 times. I actually went back up and rang it some more. I hated to antagonize the dogs. Ladies and gentlemen, I raised CNI dogs, so I'm not a dog hater by any means. But So then we went back at 9 o'clock or 8:50 on Monday night, and then we left him a voicemail that said, "Look, either answer the door at 8:50 in the morning, or we're going to have three news crews in front of your house by 9:30 Tuesday morning." And that's when he answered the door. So, and I was going to wait the cleaning ladies out because the cleaning ladies were in the driveway, and then he answers the door in a robe. I mean, come on, how weird is that?
it's weird. We were like, oh.
So that kind of brings you up to speed from the time we get to the courthouse, get the papers until 8:50 yesterday.
Oh, Tired and Retired says he doesn't even deserve to have dogs. I feel sorry for them. It's because there's a shady past with him in a dog situation. So, wow. And you don't know how many more might be coming. How far ahead of time do you know that you're going to have to serve him?
Well, let's back up a little bit. So back in May, I think we served him 5 or 6 times, but back in May, there were so many watchdogs at the courthouse that would see Regina or her staff come in there, and and it's great that everybody's getting the news out on TikTok. But one thing that hurt this back in May was that they were wanting to serve JP before he knew what the document was. And some of these, reporters need to respect the fact that the attorney has to record something at the courthouse before we can serve it. So what would happen is Regina would have to go to the courthouse at literally 4:59 p.m. Then they would record it so the watchdogs couldn't post it online before we could get it served that night. And that happened 3 or 4 times where we were having to wait till late in the day. But normally she would text me middle of the day, maybe early that morning, "Hey, we've got something coming. Are you available?" Now, I'm not actually the main guy. What happened, the main guy who does the most work for her happened to be out of town the first time we had to serve him. And so I did it. And then since then, I've served him every other time. But he's been, for the most part, he's been agreeable because I said, "Hey, man, you know, I'll ring your doorbell, come to the door, I'll hand it to you, like no problem. But I don't want to bring 3 or 4 news stations in on it." And
Hmm.
you imagine how many TikTokers I could have in his driveway in a matter of 15 minutes in Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
But you guys have done a great job. I mean, I'm just kind of late to the party here, but you guys have done a great job keeping the news out there on it.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you. We've been calling for justice for Micah for a while now, and I've got a feeling or I'm hoping at least, that some of these lawsuits that he has put out, I think we have 13, 14 ish in total now. I think one was dismissed. Uh, I'm hoping that folks will countersue, and that you will have a lot more processes to be served to him.
Well, he, um, and I can't speak except for what you've seen, but this guy just thinks he's above the law, and you guys know that. Everybody watching knows that.
Mm-hmm.
He just thinks he's above the law.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing that I would like to, I live in the neighborhood where Cindy Skinner lives, and I know, obviously, I know people on the HRA board because we have an HRA here. Um, a lot of people say that he had something to do with that death of Cindy's husband with the wheelchair. I will say, there is two different angles of video surveillance there, um, at that pool, that has been turned over to the police. And, you know, Cindy or JP, I've been told, I haven't seen the video, did not have anything to do with him running in the pool. Now, did he run himself in the pool because he found out they were having an affair? Who knows? But I don't feel like, my personal opinion is they were not involved in pushing him in the pool or the accident happening.
All right. They're letting you know her name is Susie. Susie
Oh,
Skinner.
Susie Skinner. It is. You're right. You're okay. So I actually, and I know why I made that mistake. I have a friend whose name is that. So Cindy Skinner. So yeah, I apologize. But no, she lives. So when her house, because I know where it is, it used to be only 2 blocks from where I lived. It's now maybe 6. But we used to, let's just say we walked the dog down that road a lot looking for him back in May when he would disappear. And then we'd find him in a bar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh man,
where are you
you're.
located?
I'm actually just outside of Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. I flew in to cover this case. I've been to a few protests and spoke to some folks down there, and have spent some time in Myrtle Beach in the last 6 months.
I'm sorry.
No. Well, I just didn't, while I was there, I didn't have time to visit the beach because I was so busy, working. Um, so next time I go, I hope it's for a vacation.
It's yeah, it's a different town. I mean, over where Solid Rock. Obviously, you went to Solid Rock Church, and so when I first came to Myrtle Beach, those condos that are right across from the church, I actually used to live in those condos. But now he's got another church that is on Harrelson Boulevard. If you're from Myrtle Beach, when we refer to this property as the X Gym, it's an old trucking terminal that they've made individual office suites out of and different businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And so his new church right now is in the X Gym building on Harrelson Boulevard, right across from the new FedEx terminal. So for the people in Myrtle Beach, that are listening, you know where I'm talking about.
Are you talking about, can somebody, is this the one that he was trying to have inside of a gym or something?
Yeah, it's called
Okay.
we call it the X when we refer to that property because there's like 25 businesses inside this, um, I don't know, 250,000 square foot building. Like I said, it was an old trucking terminal that they've built cubicles in.
Mm-hmm.
And so we refer to that property as the X Gym because they're the largest tenant in there. Um, but there's probably 25 tenants. So, um, oh, he got ran out of there 2 weeks ago.
Yes, they're
He
back
was
at
just
Solid
there.
Rock.
No, and he actually he actually worked during the day at, and they're not real crazy about him being there, but he goes in there, gets uses their Wi-Fi, and he works out of there quite a bit.
Hmm.
So I walked in there Monday night because I had heard, there again, you kind of get tips. And I'm walking through there trying to figure out which employee I could ask that would definitely be, against him. And so there was a young female there. I'm say young, I mean, I'm in my 50s. She was probably, early 20s, maybe college student, I don't know. And I just went up and nicely asked if he was in there, and she was very much against him and said, yes, he comes in here all the time, and we're not real crazy about it. So she had my number and was going to text me on Tuesday if he went in there to serve him, because I was going to serve him in public. Very, make a scene. Uh, because just meet me and I'll give you the papers. Like it's not hard.
Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. What they're all talking about in the comments, we're wondering.
Well, he goes in there quite a bit. I mean, he's in there 3, 4 days a week. So from what I was told,
That's very odd. I mean, I guess do people normally choose to spend their work days if they work from home there? If, that's quite a. You want to go there and have a cup of coffee, read a book, get on your Wi-Fi, maybe work a little bit because it's quiet. But to go there 3 to 4 days a week seems excessive to me, and probably on purpose.
I cannot think of the name of that road. Um, and he goes there quite a bit too.
Hmm. They're saying the FBI don't. He doesn't want them to know what he's doing, so he might be going to use others' FBI or Wi-Fi for that reason. That's just everything's alleged and for educational purposes only, and everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Everything's alleged. Just throwing that out there. Sean
Well,
says,
and I see some of these comments that this can't be tracked and that can't be tracked, but knowing what I know about cyber security, and I'm not a cybersecurity expert by any means whatsoever.
mm-hmm,
I'm probably like a level 2 on a scale of 1 to 100. But these electronic devices we have today, they can be tracked anywhere, and anything and everything you do is tracked 24/7. So I don't think he would be going there to hide an IP because they already know where that computer's being logged in, more than likely.
mm-hmm. Hmm. Chastity says they can totally track what he's doing no matter what Wi-Fi.
Well, I mean, if you think about our phones, I mean, our phones track us everywhere we go through location services and Google Maps. So I don't think he's. I mean, I've worked from home before, and I know it's hard to work in the same four walls. I don't even drink coffee, and I went to Starbucks for 3, 4 hours a week just to change my environment. And I didn't kill my wife either, so I wasn't trying to hide anything.
Yeah,
Or I
I.
shouldn't say that. No, 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 no. Let me rephrase that. Delete that. No, you see what I'm saying? It's hard to work from home and be at the same four walls every day.
Yeah, it is. Shortcake says the FBI is tracking him anyway. He just don't know it.
There's a lot going on. So, and Regina Ward, I see some comments about her being greedy and being, but I'll say this, um, so we served him on Thursday night before she passed away that Saturday or was unalive that Saturday. Um, and I see the comments about Regina Ward's greedy and Regina Ward can't get paid and Regina Ward this and that. Who's been paying Regina Ward since Micah passed away? Because Micah couldn't, you know, Micah can't pay her now. And Regina just kind of took this thing, took the bull by the horns and just because she knows a lot more than all of us know, because obviously Micah confided in her
Mm-hmm.
and she has made it like she is on it, and I I've gotten to know her a lot better through all this, and I mean, she really, um, really is passionate about the justice for Micah. She's been at a ton of fundraisers. She had the bracelets made. She's done a lot that people don't realize.
That's amazing. We don't know Regina just really well, except through this Micah movement. And so we are proud that the family had someone to stand up for them. And from what I can tell, Regina does great work. But I do have a question. You said you served John Paul a few days before, on the Thursday before Micah's death. Um, was there anything off about his demeanor, or is it just kind of been the same throughout?
Cool, calm, collected, no problem. Answer the door, yes, sir. It's no, nothing that would draw up any red flags at all.
Mm. And how, remind me if you've said it before, I'm sorry, but how far in advance do you know when you'll have to serve him? Like, do you wake up and they say, hey, you got to serve John Paul Miller today?
As an example, we Regina knew she was filing this paperwork on Monday, so we found out on Friday that she was going to be filing the paperwork and he needed to be served. So that was over the weekend,
Over
only
the,
because he can't record. But
mhm.
during the back in May when everything was happening really fast, sometimes it was 3:30 in the afternoon, and I'd be at her office at 5 o'clock, and then and I can tell you this too. So when we serve somebody, we have to sign an affidavit of service. It just basically says, I'm Herb on January 25th at 8:50 a.m. I served this guy personally. Boom, you sign your name, it's notarized. Um, I can't tell you how many times I mean, three or four that I went back to her office at 7:50 at night. It's 7:30 at night. When this is back in May, when the heat of the battle was going on, and she would still be there. How many attorneys do you know are in their office at 7:30 at night? Like that's how passionate she was about this case.
Wow, that's amazing. I know she worked really hard on Micah's list, and that list is really heartbreaking. I don't even know if you've read it, but some of the things that we know, and I feel like we just know a little bit of of it. I mean, just a morsel is really horrifying to think about some of the things that she went through.
It if 10% of what I heard is true, and I've heard the same thing you guys have. Like I don't want any back end details of this. I only want what has been released. And if 10% of what I heard is true, it's horrific what he put her through. I'll probably get sued now. Me and you both.
Can you serve yourself? Is that a
Well,
thing?
the sheriff would have to serve me, but yeah, it's um, I mean, I rang that doorbell like 9 times on Monday. I was hoping that that he would like call the police or something for harassment, but he didn't.
Oh man. So UPS can't serve. Okay, so let me oh yes, good, Zariah, good. Okay, let me ask you this, and this is me wanting to kind of pick your brain and get your expertise on the situation. And Creator de Classy magazine down there in the comments is one of the recipients of one of the lawsuits, and she lives in Georgia, but he put her address as a South Carolina address and that she was an Horry County resident. Uh, the other day, someone in a UPS T-shirt or outfit, uh, in a regular car, unmarked car, came up to the door at her home and tried to hand papers, not in an envelope. You know, like the manila envelope, you always say you're served and you hand it, and it's in the envelope. It was just a stack of papers, just a stack of papers, in nothing. And tried to hand it to her husband and tried to say you're served. And her husband refused it because he also got her name wrong. Her name is Anne, and he named her Annie. So her husband said, "There's no one named Annie from Horry County that lives here." So, but the guy ran off. He got away. He ran off too fast. So they immediately got in the car and they go down to the UPS store and they say, "This is nothing. There's no tracking number. It's just a stack of papers. We don't want this." And they were gracious enough to take it. Here's my question: is that legitimate? Can you serve somebody with just papers and no envelope and really no proof that it's from anywhere or any certain person?
Oh, absolutely. No, a lot of times I don't. Um, so when you serve papers, the very first thing at the top has to be who prepared it if it was an attorney, prepared by whoever, or it can be prepared by yourself, meaning an individual could do it. As far as wearing a UPS shirt, I'll be honest, I've left notes on people's door that said, "Hey, we're, ABC Flower Company. We have a delivery that has to be hand delivered," so that you get them to text you and then you go back and serve them the papers. We've I've never shown up wearing a brown shirt, although that's a pretty good idea. But most of the time, people know the papers are coming. Now, back to what you're saying, whoever the plaintiff is or whoever the person that initiated those papers, their name has to be on there. So, in other words, they were served to the female in the residence with a Myrtle Beach address in Georgia. Somebody, whoever initiated those papers, their name has to be on there, and they have to be signed and notarized. So I don't know that there's such a thing as fake papers, because if there's a notary stamp there, then it comes back to whoever that notary is that notarized that signature. So it's
She's
the who, what,
saying
where, when, and who, what, where, when, and why.
she's
Who is
saying
both
her
parties.
real name and address is not correct. But is the process, can you just hand somebody their lawsuit without being in an envelope like that? Just hand it to them?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you've been served, and yes, you can. And you notice my one video is in reverse. It's the doorbell's actually on the left side of the sidewalk, but it shows the right. So the front side of my camera, I didn't realize was messed up over the weekend. I had dropped my phone, and so I had to start my recorder and then turn my phone around backwards so that the front of my phone was actually, leading the way. But if you hand them the papers and the papers touch them and you say you've been served in person, now you can't do it through a window, you can't do it through a door. It has to be in person. You can't put them on their car and say that you've been served. So, but on those papers, it should have said who they came from. And like I said, they should be signed and notarized. And by being signed and notarized, if they were fake, then it's going to fall back on that notary who put a fake signature on there. And I'm not an attorney giving legal advice, but I just know they have who, what, where, when, it's all on there.
Ann is saying in Georgia they cannot do that. It's accordance to Georgia Code Title 9, Civil Practice 5, 9-11-4. It
So
has to
they
be
have
in
to
an
be in an
envelope
envelope.
in Georgia.
I've never served in Georgia. I've served in North Carolina and South Carolina for years, and I've never had that problem in North or South Carolina. Now, if it's something really personal, I'll tell them to put it in an envelope, and I even seal it, because people ask me all the time. They say, "Well, what is it?" Like, first reach out. Hey, I'm a process server. I got some papers for Joe Smith, and sometimes Joe Smith is like, "Yeah, I know they're coming. Can we not do it at work?" Sure, meet me at this parking lot. I don't even open the envelope. I give it to him sealed, because then when he says, "What's in it?" I'm not lying when I say, "I don't know." I'm just
Right,
the guy giving the papers. And
right.
uh, and I would almost rather it be in a manila envelope sealed, because I know what it is, but I'm not. It's not my business. My business is to get them from A to B in person in a quick manner. And that's sometimes we do it in days and sometimes it takes hours. And I've had some take 30 days before. So just depends on the court deadline.
When these papers were handed to her husband, not her, do you
That's
have
not
to hand
personal. Yes, you have to
you
hand it to her. Absolutely.
has to be and right, so he handed it to her husband, which is not on the lawsuit at all, and just ran away. So
So what
so
has
that
to
part.
happen is, okay, so he if he truly served them. So when I served John Paul on Tuesday morning, first thing I do is I text Regina, tell Miss Ward, hey, I got him. Let me know when the affidavit's ready. Um, she texts me maybe 4 hours later. It's ready. So there again, I have to go by and sign a statement, which she prepares it. All I do is sign. I heard McCandless on 25th of January or whatever the date was at 8:50 a.m. I served this guy at his residence by placing the papers in his hand. And then that's signed and notarized. So if I get called to court, and now I've got video to back it up, if I get called to court and he says, hey, he didn't serve me, well, I didn't, I didn't go under oath, but I signed in front of a notary that I did do that.
Mhm. The Anne has sent me the the list of requirements in Georgia to be served, and I know that they're going to vary from state to state, but it's very clear that just the simplest rules of having to, if you have a civil issue, you've got to file in the state that the person in the county that the person lives. And what he's doing is he's giving these people that live outside of South Carolina, he's giving fake South Carolina addresses so that he can have them sued.
And who is doing this?
John Paul. On the lawsuits, the 10 lawsuits he sent out, like he put Anne's address, Anne lives in Georgia, the one we were just talking about being served. He put her address as Weight Watchers in South Carolina. And he put somebody else's address as the Pulse nightclub. Um, and so all of these lawsuits, for the most part, have fake addresses. One address belongs to a local cop for someone, and it's just all of these crazy. And if they live outside of the state, he's making up addresses in South Carolina in order to be able to file it at the courthouse.
So it's gonna, okay, in a civil lawsuit under $7,500, which is what we call small claims court.
Mm-hmm.
In North Carolina, it's called small claims court. South Carolina civil district. Um, if you can't get personal service on the person you are suing, if the defendant does not get personally served, then it cannot go to trial. It cannot go in front of the judge or in front of the magistrate. So what it's going to fall back on, it's going to fall back on the fact that these people were not personally served. And what that means is that if there's a fake affidavit in there from a process server who, and I'm not an attorney here, but at the end
Right.
of the day, it's going to come back to the process server that says he served it. And if he did not serve it, then that's who it's going to, it's just JP putting somebody else in liability's way there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that he was the one doing it. I thought it was somebody else. I didn't realize that was him.
Well, I mean, I would think it would be. I don't know his attorney Russell B. We call
No,
him
he has
Russell
no
B. Wrong.
attorney. He has no attorney on these civil suits.
So he would have
At
had
least,
to fill the affidavits out and himself put down these fake addresses.
well, the lawsuit that I did the countersuit for on that particular suit, JP's representing himself. On most of these $7,500 lawsuits, he's representing himself. He is not represented by his attorney.
They're saying that he's doing that, but that he might show up to court most likely with a lawyer.
The problem with that is if the addresses are wrong and they can be proved, then I doubt he will show up with a lawyer because it depends on how much shady stuff. It's these like you can't serve the husband. I've been to houses before where I knew the wife was there or I knew the husband was there, and they wouldn't come to the door. And so if he gave the papers to the husband, but yet the wife was the one being served, then then that's not a legal service.
Yeah. And but we were curious, what how it is there in South Carolina in Horry County. If they're never served and they don't show up to the small claims court, then is it just thrown out?
If the affidavit of service is in there and they can prove there again, even if it's a fake one, if the affidavit of service is in there, then they will award judgment for they will award judgment on his behalf.
Even if they
Um,
weren't served.
it gets back to the affidavit of service. Even though they weren't served, if somebody did a fake affidavit of service saying that they were served, then yes, it would. You got to think about this. The judge isn't going to interview anybody. He's going to read all the supporting documentation, and if the supporting documentation is there, then it's going to come down to the affidavit of service. That's what it's going to
Oh,
amount to. If he truly has somebody do a fake affidavit of service, then, and I wouldn't put it past him to do that. And I tell you what I'd like to do if we could. If anybody, whoever's involved in this, if they could send me a message and I'll run this by Regina. I mean, and just say, hey, this is what he's doing. Um, you know, because more than likely she knows about it. You wouldn't believe what she knows. Like I thought I was giving her some hot off the press information, a couple of weeks ago, and she's like, "Herb, you're a month late to the party." Um, so
yeah. She's
because
yeah,
let's face it, there's 100 watchdogs down here.
yeah.
So, um, and so no one, I've seen criminals go down all my life, and I had an investigator tell me one time it's easier to to get a drug dealer on tax evasion than it is to get them selling drugs. And I have a feeling that's what's possibly going on here, with the FBI involved and whatnot. Because we know he didn't do it. I mean,
Me
he's got
too.
alibis. Well, he's got alibis.
Mm.
But so yeah, it's this case, it blows me away. It really does.
Oh man, it's a lot. Yes, you can come up, Ann. Come on up. Courtney's asking, but what if the name is wrong? Affidavit of service.
Well, so my name is Herb. Okay, I was born, but I get people that call me Herbert and have put Herbert on documents. A name like Caitlin or Catherine or Tracy, or I could see a name being misspelled. That's probably not going to be a problem if the person is served. If an attorney's doing it, they're going to do it right. They're going to do background checks. But I don't think a name being spelled wrong is going to be a reason to throw it out. Not being personally served is a reason to throw it out.
So what it comes down to is whether or not there are going to be fake affidavit of services or not. And everything's alleged, like I said, everything's alleged. Nobody's done anything. This is all for educational purposes only. It all comes down to that one piece of paper, affidavit of service, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if there's an affidavit of service in that file where that person got served, then um, then it's going to be in that file. Uh, is
Let
this
me
person
ask
on the
you.
call? Is this person on the feed right now that this
Yeah,
happens
yes.
with?
Hi,
Yes.
how are you? Nice to meet you. My name is Anne.
Do you have
Um,
those papers in front of you?
well, no, because I gave them back to UPS and said send them back to server because on the paperwork it said that this person was a resident of Horry County. I've never been a resident of Horry County. So I said, this is not me, send it back. I do have copies. I mean, I was smart enough to keep a copy. But what I wanted to tell you is I don't mind contacting you. I just wanted to let you know ahead of time. I'm going to put it in the chat so that I remember for myself's sake. Federal law 18 USC 1342 is when it's a federal offense to um, use a fictitious address, not just a name. Now I know a name can always be mistaken, but a fictitious address to commit a fraud. And so in this case, that would be what he's doing because he obviously does know my address because he attempted to have me served. He knows that my address is not Weight Watchers in Myrtle Beach. I've never been a resident of Myrtle Beach or South Carolina. Um, so I did report it. I just wanted to let you know that I did report it to the FBI.
Can you text? I'll send you my phone number. Could you text me a copy of those papers?
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm sure is the case number on there?
Yes, there
Like,
is.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, if you could do that. And you're right, it is a federal crime, but at the end of the day, you got to have an attorney or you got to have somebody that can that has to show up for court that can contest this. You know, it's
Well, I do have somebody here, and she had said to me that there's nothing she could do because the case she's a Georgia lawyer, and so she gave me a name to a lawyer in South Carolina. I did reach out to them, and they had pretty much had said, let us know when you're served. And she had said, don't accept it. We didn't know that the address was fake at the time. And I said, don't accept it, just reject it. So that's what I've been doing. And so they're aware of, what's going on. To be honest with you, and I'll be really honest with you, if he had never showed up at my door, I was really going to wait it out to see what was going to happen at court. And if it would have ended up that there was a lien put up against me for that amount, 7,500, then I was going to fight it from that standpoint. I was going to hire an attorney and fight the whole thing just to see what the outcome was. Um, but I was told, see if you're served. And then because this gentleman showed up Saturday afternoon attempting to serve me in that manner, which was also against Georgia law to serve in that manner. I just followed the steps of sending it back, rejecting the papers, and then reporting it to the feds. And they have the case number as well. But I will absolutely send you whatever you need.
I don't understand how UPS is involved in this. You said the guy had a UPS shirt on?
Yeah, well, I didn't see him. My husband did, and he said he had a UPS shirt on, the button-down one, the brown one with the,
Hmm.
the logo on it. And he didn't have him sign anything, just was like Annie Plagenborg. And my husband went, not Annie, but there's an Anne Marie Plagenborg. And the guy goes, here. And my husband had no idea. We didn't expect these papers really to show up because we knew there was a Myrtle Beach address being used. And he walked away. He was just like, here. And he walked away. No
Yes.
truck,
Well, see,
nothing.
UPS doesn't serve papers though. I mean,
Right.
UPS,
That's what they say. That's right.
they don't serve papers. And
There you
I
go.
mean, the most they're going to do is you're going to get an overnight package that you're going to have to sign for.
Right. And they
And
were they was very nice about it. They took the papers and said they were going to send it back to the sender for us because, this person showed up with their shirt on. But they did say the same thing you just did. They said there would have been a tracking number, it would have been in an envelope, and none of those things happened.
none of your neighbors have cameras or anything where you could.
They do. And so we went down and she scrolled through the camera, and it's really odd because no car, no truck. I live in a cul-de-sac area, so somebody would have been seen, even at least their vehicle, and we didn't even see him. It's like he came out of the sky. So the only thing I could think of is that he walked behind the buildings, behind the community,
Oh.
avoiding the gate. Yeah, because it's a gated community, so it's like he went around the gate. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
When I can tell you, I've served in a gated community before, and sometimes we, kind of sit off to the side and you wait, you follow every car into that gate, hoping that
Right.
they're going to open
Right.
it and you go right through with them. But you don't do anything illegal. You just kind of follow the car in front of you through the gate.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he came through like the way you had just said, through a car. And many people do that. We catch them doing that all the time. And it was a Saturday afternoon. So that would have been very easy because it's kind of busy on a Saturday afternoon here. But no, did not park in front of the buildings or even in the area, um, and wasn't even caught on the cameras, in front of the buildings. That means that he came behind the building. It's crazy.
Maybe they do that, but I'm stuck on the fact that that UPS doesn't serve folks. I think based on that alone, this has to be some sort of alleged setup by John Paul Miller.
Well, here's the thing. If um, he's following everything at the 21st Avenue Courthouse, um, what I'll do is if I can get the case number from you, and we'll text or I'll message you when we're done here, and um, I'll see if there's an affidavit in there. If it is, then we're going to have that person's name, and it has to be notarized. So you're going to have the notary stamp, which is registered at the local register of deeds in whatever county or state that you're in. So there's a paper trail going back somewhere here.
Right.
Hmm.
We probably shouldn't be talking about this like this in case he's listening. But if he
Oh,
is,
I'm sure he is listening.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Um,
No, I did not
so
even get.
how did you even get listed? Did you come to a protest or something, or come to?
Oh no, I've just been reporting on it, and that's basically it. I've never been to a
Oh,
protest.
so freedom of speech doesn't exist in John Paul Miller's case.
That's
No, but
right.
Regina does. I mean, she knows of me because after the event, she had stated, I don't know if it was on a show or on her own, where she said, if you're a witness or have any evidence, to please reach out to me. And so right away, I had sent her some things that I thought were interesting enough to share with her. And about maybe 3 or 4 days later, a federal agent had called me, asking for me to resend those things to him and anything else that I might have. And so I did. And I actually made sure that this was somebody that they knew. I contacted Regina's office and said, "Does this name sound familiar?" And they were like, "Yeah, he was like the main agent or something like that." So
Mm.
Agatha
How
may
many?
receive papers. Wow.
So we know for a fact that he's using fake. See, here's the thing. I'm on speed dial with a couple of news anchors in town. Um, if this is something that we can prove, she'll blow it up.
Sure,
I
blow up
mean,
whatever you like. You have my
she's
permission.
not a.
Because
Let me
listen,
rephrase that.
if I may,
She's not.
if I may say some one thing, he does know where I'm located, and I'll tell you why. As far back as July 4th, he called me out of the blue. How
He
did he
did
get my
call you.
phone number?
He did.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was an interesting phone call, wasn't it, Anne?
Yeah, because it wasn't a landline, it's a cell line. So, and I don't have my name, Anne Plagenborg, on my accounts. It's either the magazine name or the music name. Back then it was my music name. So he had to have searched me out to find my number. And I know from background checks, if you find the phone number, you normally find the address. So he knows exactly where I've been the entire time.
It's a little scary.
Hey, Love and Life just said that. Hold on a second. Love and Life. You just said one of the addresses used is the Circle K on 38th
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the address he used for me.
as your address.
Yes, my address. So there's a Weight Watchers, and he's trying to be funny by doing that because I'm overweight. It seems like it's a storefront in that area where the Circle K is, but it's on 38th Street North in
Oh, there's a
Myrtle
strip
Beach.
mall right there with a grocery
Right.
store and like
That's
20
right.
other. Um, used to be a Bilo. I don't know what it is now. I don't live on that end of town, so I'm not up there. I don't go in that shopping center, but
Yeah,
um,
that's it though.
it's your typical Chinese buffet, Dollar Tree, blah 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 grocery store.
Mm.
Um, that's right behind the Circle K.
Right, right. But when you look on the Google Maps, it kind of just drops right there in front of or in the vicinity of the Circle K. But it's
So,
officially listed at the Weight Watchers.
so this news anchor that I know, she's not. The thing about news people is that like the more stuff you can break, the faster you climb that ladder. It's always who can get the story, who can get the story. So, um, she works till about 1 o'clock in the morning on the 11 o'clock news. So I'm going to text her this afternoon. She'll be in at 3:30 or 4. Run this
Okay.
by her and see if it's something that because those
Sure,
files are public records. We have a
Steph can give you my number. I don't mind if you want to give that to
Well,
him,
you just
Steph.
text it, just message me through TikTok and send it to me. So we'll figure it
Oh,
out.
okay.
I'm
Now
Sure.
gonna.
that I
I'm gonna.
screenshotted the page, so I've got everybody's name here.
Yeah, I'm going to send you my number as well, so you
Okay.
can text me if you need me or and whatnot. Yeah, that's amazing. If you could get exposure for this and what he is doing, we would be forever ever grateful.
Wait, he used fake addresses for himself in all the cases?
Yes, himself as well. That's right. That's also right. Himself as well.
Okay, that's interesting. Looks like I need to go right by Miss Ward's office.
Yep.
And you'll see
How,
that address on the court documents.
how was she when you talked to her? How was Regina Ward?
I mean, well, it was all by email, but
Oh,
always
okay.
very. But it was actually the girl that works for her. My gosh, I can't remember her name. Really nice people, very quick in response. Very grateful for whatever was shared. So I had a good experience.
Well, I don't know how much you know about her,
I'm
but
sorry.
I don't, let's move from one room. Um, I don't know how much you know about her, but she has, like, you know, let me just say she's taken this personal, and this is personal to her, and she will not be happy until he goes down.
Yeah, and
And
I kind of picked up on that. That's why I felt comfortable in sending her the information that I had, you know. And then like I said, it was shortly thereafter that the federal agent reached out. And I was really happy to give him all that information because it was investigative. It wasn't just, guesswork. There was some legwork that was put into that by me and others. And so we were absolutely thrilled to share this with them if it helped their investigation.
is is there anybody on this call right now or on this live right now that is in Myrtle Beach? Um, if so, reach out to me or message me or just comment now. Only because if he's using all these fake addresses, then we need to go get we need to go to the 21st Street courthouse and do some and pull some files. The problem is, I guess we can pull every file that he's made. Um, I'm gonna have to look
I
into
would
that.
love. I would personally. And I don't have one copy of one lawsuit, but I would personally love to have a copy of every lawsuit. It's just hard for me because I don't have anybody in Myrtle Beach that would go down to the courthouse and get the copies for me. So if you happen to get copies of stuff and can share with me, I would be forever grateful on that as well. The public files, if it's public, I don't want anything that's, I know. They're saying I've begged. I really have. I've ran around saying, "Do you have it? Can you get it?" I think he's losing network or.
Like you can't go in
Oh,
there.
there you go.
Wait a minute. Wait. Yeah. You can't go in there, and it's just like 25 years ago, we could just go in there and pull the files ourselves. Now they're behind a locked door, which is fine, and they charge you so much a copy for each page or whatever. But um, if he's filed 14 different ones, it's going to be a little bit of a process, but we could get
Yeah,
them.
and I'm willing to
That
pay.
wouldn't be a problem.
I'm willing to pay and pay for
I'm sure
your time. I just don't have any connection that could get that kind of stuff for me in Myrtle Beach. I've tried. People work during the day or they live too far away from the courthouse, but it's situations like that.
I have
Yeah, I
to
can
go.
run up to the.
I'm very sorry I have to go, but I'm gonna try to find Herb on TikTok and give him my number. But Steph, as a backup, if you wouldn't mind giving him my number. And then I sent you what you asked for, Steph. And thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate your help.
Yeah, and I'll send her. I'll send Steph my number as well. So between the three of us, we'll get each other's number. So,
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate your help.
yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad. And anything, we'll talk. Don't worry, we'll talk.
Okay, take care. God bless everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ann. Ooh, what a morning already. I really appreciate you coming on the panel and explaining this to us and showing us patience and grace. Wow. We are just like so happy that you're here.
Well, I was scrolling through and I saw, I saw the live and I said, wait a minute, I think she liked my page last night. And then I saw you were talking about that case and I said, oh, wait a minute, I gotta chime in here. I've got a few minutes. So,
Yeah, I do edit
I
a
actually own
video.
I actually own well, my real job is I own an auction company. And so, um, and how I got into process serving, a friend of mine that her son went to school with my son, maybe 10 years ago. And, um, I was living in Burlington, North Carolina, and I had to drive somewhere that weekend. And she said, "Are you going near Rockingham?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm going right near Rockingham." She said, "Well, have you ever served papers? Don't know anything about it." And so she gave me a 10-minute tutorial, and it was 5 minutes out of my way, and I made $100. I thought, well, darn, this is easy money. And
Wow.
so I served papers for her. She has a company called Female Agents Incorporated out of Graham, North Carolina, and I served papers for her for a number of years. And then it was just, it's not a full-time thing. And then, because here's the thing, everybody you serve papers to is either getting divorced or being sued.
Mm-hmm.
So some people are really cool about it and they're nice and they know it's coming. And some people are just, um, there's a gentleman that owns a store at Coastal Grand Mall, and I called him on December 22nd. And we agreed to meet, and he didn't show up. And I called him back, and I said, I'm walking in your store tomorrow at 1 o'clock when you're going to be packed. And I'm coming with two officers. We're going to pull you out of the store, and I'm going to hand you the papers. And he goes, oh, God, no, we can meet tonight. We can meet tonight. So, most of what we do is it's just like that. Those you ring the doorbell, you hand them, and you walk away.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm really amazed at the local support and the local. Like we knew the FBI was coming there that day, and one of my friends who also works for Miss Ward sent me a text and said, "Hey, they're going to be there. It's going to be ugly." And I got there 15 minutes after, maybe 20 minutes after the FBI did. There were already 15 people on the street, doing lives.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought, well, let's just go over here and see what's going on. And man, I was blown away. Um, so the local support with this is just phenomenal. And, and, do I think he did it? Probably not. But, there's just, boy, it's, I just hate that she didn't try to report or do something sooner, before what happened.
We have advocated for Micah for some number of months now. And it's so hard to believe that in April we're already coming up on a year of her passing. And it's our hope to use her story to make a change in how domestic violence is viewed by the world, and make maybe by this process more programs in may be available, or there might be someone who comes forwards and talks about their situation where they wouldn't go into before, and maybe that saves their life. And so that's one of our main goals. And JP thinks we're just out to aggravate him and get him. When we just want to know the truth, and we want to know that this example has made a difference for women in the world that who has the ability to change their life based on the information that we provide, and what they learn here and what they learn from Micah's story.
Well, one thing that you guys haven't heard yet. So that interview on Channel 13 with Adriana the other night,
Mhm.
you saw probably 30 seconds on Channel 13 News, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. That interview was 27 minutes long. I was there. I held Miss Ward's camera for half of it. And the one thing that she said was that Micah tried to get a restraining order against JP multiple times and was turned down. But yet JP can take restraining orders out on these people, and they're handing them out like free candy. And it's like, how can he get a restraining order against somebody to um, peacefully protest with a permit in front of his church when his spouse couldn't get one when he was physically and mentally abusing her? And the irony there is just amazing. And to hear her tell that story um, really blew me away because, Micah tried to get a restraining order against JP and was turned down multiple times.
Yep.
And, but yet he was able to um, get one against multiple people one time going to the courthouse. And I've actually got somebody at her HOA was really harassing her. And to the point that they took a lot of pictures of her house. Like it was borderline stalking. And yet the cops told us in Myrtle Beach that they had to have 3 instances of this separate cases before they could do a restraining order. And this wasn't a personal relationship. This was just an HOA member being a jerk. But yet he could take pictures of a single woman's house at all hours of the day and night because, you know, you're 70, she's 40. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and the police would not touch it. And so it really blows my mind how GP got away with this. Got away with handing out these restraining orders now on people when she couldn't get one on him.
Amen. That's what we've been wondering the whole time.
Yeah, she did present 3, but they would not it until she retained Regina uh, to go ahead and file her separation or divorce paper or separation papers. There was nothing done in the Horry County system, and I think it's a South Carolina thing. I don't think it's an Horry County or Myrtle Beach thing.
Tired and Retired says blatant corruption, possibly, allegedly. Mm-hmm. They call it Dirty Myrtle, from what I hear.
So the other thing that was told, I may or may not have gotten some underhanded legal advice, is that, and this is just general information out there, if you're being harassed by somebody on your HOA like that, if you ask them the question at the meeting in front of everybody, okay, you've been harassing me, Joe. Were you doing this in your personal behalf, or were you doing it on behalf of the HOA? Well, of course he's going to say on behalf of the HOA. Well, at that point, the HOA becomes liable. Um,
Mhm.
that person has exposed the HOA. And there again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving advice, but just, you know, that's one thing that in HOAs people use as an excuse. Well, I'm doing this because of the HOA. Well, at some point, somebody's going to lawyer up and take that HOA to court, and that's just a way of passing the buck. But at the same time, it's just not right that people should be able to act this way and do these things.
I agree. Well,
But
I've got to go for the day, but I'm so beyond grateful that you came in here and you come up here on this panel. That means the world to me. I will never ever forget this. Thank you so much, and you're welcome on the panel. You can come on here every day. I don't care.
well,
I go live daily, so just
I will.
anytime.
I'm going to run up to those people. They know me up there, so luckily on the good side, not the bad side. Um, so I'm going to now go to the 21st Street Courthouse and see if I can get copies for you, or just see what I'm really interested. If somebody's from Myrtle Beach that can help me out with this address thing, please reach out and send me a message. Um, let's try to. I just wonder if Regina knows that he used all fake addresses on these other lawsuits. But what I'd rather do is get the copy of them myself and prove it, and then take it to her. I don't want to send her on
Right,
as we say in the South, a wild goose chase.
right.
I'd rather
That's
get,
right.
if you want them anyway, then we can get them, we can verify them, and then go from there.
That
So,
sounds like a plan.
and Herb, it's all on sounds. What? Oh, okay. Well, anyway, somebody, like I said, reach out to me. We'll figure it out. You're on in the morning, every morning.
Every I'm live daily Monday through Friday from 10:30 to noon, and then I'm live on Sundays from 1 to 3.
I will stop in tomorrow at 10:30 just to give you an update of some kind.
Okay.
If I have to request, then I have to request. But if not, if I have something, um, text me her phone number and yours, and we'll have your phone text my phone. We'll make this happen.
Okay. We'll reach out. We'll be a triangular information system.
If that's the Jew. Oh,
Uh,
yeah, that's perfect there. And I'm gonna have to buy me a brown shirt now at Goodwill so I can act like a UPS driver when I go to serve. I like that idea. Never done that one.
oh
I've done
no.
some. I've done some different ones, but I've never. I'm usually a flower salesman. I mean, who doesn't want to open the door for flowers, right?
Right. We've
Hey,
given you a new good idea for
uh,
a disguise.
all right, one last story, and then I got to go. I was serving a guy back in October. We could not find him. And so there were some kids, like 15 kids, doing something really weird in that neighborhood. They were playing outside. I know it's a weird thing. It's 2024. So I go up to these kids and I said, "Hey, is any of your parents here?" And sure enough, one of the parents came out because some weird guy's talking to these kids. And I told them what I was doing. They said, "Oh, we hate that guy. Yeah, he lives right there." I said, "Yeah, I'm trying to get him." So I tell these kids, 14 kids, I said, "Here's the deal." I said, "Your dad has my number. When he pulls in, you send me a text and I'm buying a pizza party for everybody." I get a text at 11:15 at night that he had just gotten home. And so I called an officer. We went over there. We served him. And then that Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, I ordered 7 large pizzas and we had a neighborhood pizza party for all these kids. The parents told me these kids were looking out the window, that they would not, they quit playing outside to go play private detective, Sherlock Holmes. But it was an
Oh.
emergency. He had to be served by Sunday night because of a court date coming up. So we had to get him. And so I told the kids I'd buy them all pizza. And so it cost me 7 large pizzas. But you know what? we got him.
Oh, that's an amazing story.
So,
It's very creative. Yeah. Just have a block party. He'll come out.
yeah, that's what we did. We actually did it right in the front yard, three houses down from his house. Set
That's
a tent up,
awesome.
you know, and but yeah, it was but hey, it was nice meeting you.
Nice
And
to meet you.
just give me a day or so. Let's get our numbers exchanged and we'll go from there.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.
Whoa, what a show. What a morning, everybody. We've got a lot of stuff done. We've made a lot of progress this morning, got a lot of information, got some things to look forward to. Right? Oh my goodness. I'm so thankful that he come in here. What a morning. Holy cow. Yes, I will make sure to get this on the big YT here in a few hours so you can watch the whole show. Thank you. And thank you guys for using your stickers. First time catching the live. Oh, well, Jules, make sure you turn your notifications on, and maybe you'll get notified when you see another live. Yes, it is. My username and logo is the same across all platforms. Yes. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for the corgi. I appreciate that. Thank you, Riss Ross, for giving me a corgi. That's amazing. Thank you, guys. Oh, excuse me, coughing a little bit here. Woo! Oh my goodness. Thank you, Renee. Thank you for the corgi. I appreciate you. Thank you. And there's 279 souls in here, but we were up to 350 souls, and I was like, "Ooh, we got 350 souls in the room." But I didn't want to say anything and interrupt the thought process, so I just said it inside my heart. Thank you for all of the corgis and all of the love. Thank you, Jules. Thank you for them donuts. Oh my goodness, you guys are being so kind to me. I always look like my dad. When they do the hat, thank you, Jules. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Jules. Oh my goodness, so much love. Wishes sending corgi. I'm getting loved on right now. Look at you guys love on me. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. I will, Carol. I will, text guru. Oh, Jules, it's my honor. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. And thank you for believing in me. Summer, Michelle sent a donut. Thank you. Tired and retired. That's me. I love your name. Jules just sent me a galaxy. And we have 100,000 likes. We reached 100,000 likes, y'all. You done that. You guys do that. You guys make that possible. And my gallery's almost complete. Oh, my gallery? Steph, if you need help with money for the files, let me know. Okay, Veronica. It shouldn't be too bad, but we'll see. We'll see what it costs, and I try to cover it myself. But if it's like outrageous crazy, then I'll step in and probably ask. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. We'll take it a moment by moment and situation by situation. Thank you to Michelle for sending that confetti. Thank you. Wishes and wings. Yes, of course. If it's like so much money, I'll come on here. Maybe if I can bring you an exact amount. We'll figure it out. Thank you, Greta. Thank you for the heart. I appreciate that. You guys are so amazing. What a live, man. I'm so grateful he come in here. And I feel better about knowing and understanding what to look for in this situation. Remember, it's all going to come down to the affidavit of service, which I'm sure is public information. So that's something, and I'm hoping this gets on the news and the address things gets on the news. One step, you're right, Dana, one step closer, one step closer. He's going to show all of this to Regina, and here's what I'm hoping. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there into the universe as something that I hope happens, okay? I'm hoping when we get all of this together and present it, and he presents it to Regina, that it makes her mad enough to help these folks and be a lawyer for them when they go to court. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? Mm-hmm. I love you. You love me, and I love you. You guys are using your stickers. I love you guys so much. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm going to go for the day. I'm going to get off of here and give him my phone number. Make sure everybody's got everybody's phone number. Wow. He's coming back. He's coming back tomorrow, he said. So that's when I'm going to be back at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the morning. Come back. He's going to come back with an update, hopefully, if he has a quick moment. You guys know that you're making my dreams come true right before my eyes. I love you very much. And I get up every morning and I appreciate this opportunity that has been given to me. Forever, forever grateful. Thank you, Jesus. Remember that you can find me on any social media platform. All you have to do is look for the same username and logo, mainly on YouTube. That's the one. Just search for Steph Case Files and you'll find me there. I am. Got the glasses, got my microphone, got my coffee, ready to go. But I'm also on other platforms, pretty much all of them. So wherever you are, there I am too. Tanline says, don't forget about your meeting. There it is. I have a 7:00 meeting with TikTok. Don't forget. We don't normally have Wednesday night meetings, so I'm going to don't forget. And if you see me on here throughout the day, say, don't forget about your meeting. Don't forget about your TikTok meeting. Okay? I appreciate you for forevermore. Please have a blessed day and be kind to one another.